Cold outside and windy, and tonight we're going to have indoor baseball. Mike Scioscia's team, they finally scored some runs yesterday, but they gave up too many. The Angels lost 10-6 in the opener of this 4-game series. Let's take a look at their starting lineup right at the top of the order. Eric Aybar in the month of May is at .339. He's on a 9-game hit streak. He scored 9 runs this month. He is really the catalyst at the top of the order. How about Chris Iannetta, the catcher? He's hit well against the Blue Jays. He had 3 extra base hits in the game yesterday for the first time in his career. He's got a career .431 average against the Blue Jays.
Break in. Aaron Sanchez, 8th start of the season, and his first appearance versus the Angels. He allowed a career-high 5 runs on 7 hits, including 4 walks in his last start. That was against Baltimore. All the damage was done in 1 inning. That was the 2nd inning. A couple of walks, 3 doubles, and an infield hit, and that was it. Shutout baseball into the 6th inning after that for Sanchez.
Here's the first pitch of the game. It is in there for a strike, and we are underway. Eric Aybar, he's a very aggressive. This whole lineup is aggressive. They go up there swinging the bats. They're looking for a pitch early in the at-bat.
Yeah, you're right. Up and down the lineup, they will swing at the first pitch. In fact, swinging at the first pitch, they are 7th in the American League, and they're actually hitting .360 on the first pitch thrown to them. The Major League average, .334. So it's an aggressive bunch.
Sanchez ahead 0-2. There's that hook, and it's a good one. The curveball's getting better and better with every start.
I asked Russell Martin about that today, about the curveball, and he says, to his credit, he's not afraid to throw it. He's been throwing it a lot just to try and get a feel for it. That time he wanted him to bounce it, and he was very happy with where that curveball was. Now he can come back with a fastball if he wants to.
Fastball on the ground. Big hop for Tollison. In time at first, 1 down.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for young Aaron Sanchez. The pitch usage in the opponent's batting average. Notice that curveball. What they are hitting, just 111 against that curveball. He'll throw fastball 3 out of 4 pitches, and it's a good one. It's moving all over the place, and it's a low 90s, and it complements that hard curveball that he had. He'll throw mix in a changeup every now and then and a slider, but basically that's what you're going to get from Sanchez. If his curveball is on and he's throwing strikes with his fastball, he's going to have a good outing.
He gets ahead of Mike Trout. Remember, this is the first time the Angels have faced Aaron Sanchez. Very, very patient delivery so far. That's a great sign. Mike Trout says he loves hitting in this place with the roof closed. See the ball much better. Then he gave me the caveat, except I know I don't hit well here.
Look at the numbers. Not very good.
He said he really had trouble yesterday in the outfield, picking up the ball off the crowd in the background. But he likes the roof closed. Breaking ball right to the shortstop. Goins unloads quickly. 2 down. 2 ground ball outs to start the ball game. Let's take a look at the defense behind Aaron Sanchez. Danny Valencia making his 7th start in left. Kevin Pillar's in center. Chris Colabello is in right. Donaldson and Goins on the left side. Tollison and Encarnacion on the right side. And Russell Martin makes his 34th start behind the plate.
And in his usual position at third base, that's Josh Donaldson. He started every game but 2 for the Blue Jays. He's made some great plays. Lately, he's played 326 in the 3rd innings at third base. That is 2nd on the team in innings played this year, behind Kevin Pillar, who's played 346 innings already.
Yep, Donaldson is an everyday gamer. He comes to play. He puts his work gloves on and goes to work. Albert Pujols. 2-0 to Pujols. Pujols homered yesterday in the 4th inning. That was just his 2nd career home run here at Rogers Center. He ended up 2 for 5 on the afternoon.
He tomahawked the fastball that was up and got it out of here. I think he's a very good low ball hitter.
Goes after that one, and it's a mile high on the infield. Donaldson, the 3rd baseman, taking charge. Well, Josh Donaldson is leading off. He is 5 for 8, hitting #1 in the order, and he's also hitting .408 here at Rogers Center. He wears it out here at home. They won the game 10-6, and they only hit one home run. That was Bautista, his number 7 home run. Let's take a look at the lineup. Right at the top of the order, we mentioned Josh Donaldson. His last 12 games, he's hit .348. In the leadoff spot, he's gone 5 for 8 with a homer and scored 2 runs. He's hitting .400 here at Rogers Center, and in the cleanup spot, Russell Martin, .400 for the month of May. That's second in the American League. Without having Reyes or Devin Travis to hit leadoff, John Gibbons has simply pushed the top 4 up in the order.
Bunch them together and get him to face Hector Santiago in the first inning. Off to a hot start, having allowed no more than 1 earned run in 5 of his first 7 starts. He was particularly effective in his last start. That was against the very good offensive team, the Colorado Rockies. Just 1 run on 7 hits, 6 innings, no walks, and 8 strikeouts for Santiago.
Santiago throws the first pitch, strike to Donaldson. Donaldson having a good start to his season. This is over 40 games. He's hit .316 inside.
You know, the whole Blue Jay teams, they have done so well against lefters. They haven't faced that many lefties this year, but they've got the highest batting average against left-handed starters this season.
Just off the plate inside. The addition of Donaldson and Martin have a lot to do with that. Their ability to hit lefties.
Well, they're so right-handed, top-heavy, if you will.
Change up off the plate. 3-1 to Donaldson. Believe me, he's not up there looking for a walk. He's aggressive. He just hasn't seen anything he wants to hit yet. Blue Jays hitting .328 against lefty pitching. That's a good pitch right on the corner at the knees.
He's looking for something out away from him where he can extend, and Santiago with that little quick arm swing buries a fastball inside.
Bautista will be next. Bautista had a terrific day yesterday. He went 3 for 4, scored 3 runs, drove in 3 runs, and hit his 7th home run. He's starting to heat up as well. Another foul back.
You know, I mentioned that he had no walks in his last start, but right before Hector Santiago took the mound, he drew his lines right there. That's his lanes. He wants to stay in those lanes, so he's driving towards home plate. You can see it still after he has made his pitches, but it's very interesting. He starts in the middle of the rubber right there and really throws against his body.
There's a deep drive to center field. Mike Trout is back, looking up. The ball is off the wall and gone. Top of the fence and out of here. Josh Donaldson, his 9th home run of the season, and the Blue Jays are up 1-0.
Well, Josh Donaldson got in a little spat yesterday with the bench of the Los Angeles Angels in an at-bat yesterday. And today, he hits a home run in the first at-bat. He said, I wanted to shave everything off of my face just to try something different, and it worked yesterday.
Yeah, he'll be going to shave the rest of his teammates now. Okay, everybody in. Let's have a clean-shaven team. There's a breaking ball to Bautista. It is 0-2.
3-2. He doesn't want to walk him, so he's going to challenge him with a fastball. And Josh Donaldson, you see his head down on that one and just go down and get it. Watch the head of Josh Donaldson. Just follow, track that ball. Keep it down and drive through it. That's how you hit a ball out to center field.
Right off the top of the fence. Mike Trout was right there, but it was beyond his reach. 2-2. Donaldson's 2nd home run, batting leadoff. He's now 6 for 9, hitting in the number 1 spot. Bautista working the count.
Santiago jumped ahead 0-2. Now he's trying to nibble, and Jose is not going to fish for it. He's got back into the count now. Called for.
Home run and a walk for the Blue Jays. Bautista continues to take his walks.
And that's what you get from Donaldson. You get some power at the top of that lineup. He likes hitting this leadoff. He's not trying to hit soft singles into the outfield. He is being very aggressive.
Edwin Encarnacion hitting in the third spot tonight. Santiago looked down at his landing spot after that last pitch, as if to say, I'm a little bit out of whack with my delivery.
You know, we mentioned that right at the beginning of this inning about the lanes that he drew and then how he really throws across his body, more so than anybody that we have seen this year. And he has had trouble throwing strikes. You can see the rubber where he plants his foot, and then to the right of the lane right there, that's where his front foot lands. So he's really got to throw across his body, making it very difficult to get the ball in on right-handers.
Excuse me, Tapper back to the mound. Santiago bounces it to Pujols, but Pujols makes the play. Bautista moves to second.
With him throwing across his body, it creates a very tough angle for batters to pick the ball up for, but it makes it very tough for him to really extend and get his arm out.
We're going to see Jared Weaver, and he throws across his body as much as anybody, but the difference for me is Santiago's foot. He throws against that foot, and it's really not open so he can get over the top of it. Russell Martin goes after the first pitch and lifts it high into right field. Calhoun is there, and Martin's retired on one pitch. Santiago was born in Newark, New Jersey. He went to college down in Florida. He actually played in the same league, in the same conference as Chipola Junior College, where Martin and Bautista went. They were separated by a couple of years when they were in school, but he played in that same conference. There are 5 junior college in the panhandle of Florida, and that's where Santiago pitched. He was a 30th round pick of the White Sox in 2006. Danny Valencia. Danny had a good game yesterday as well. Valencia 1 for 5, but he drove in 2 big runs in the 6th against Vinny Pastano, a right-hander. Hit a ball into the alley in right center to drive home 2 big runs in that 4-run 6th inning. Valencia's having some good at-bats lately. Doesn't make any difference, lefties or righties. He's starting to really drive the ball to the opposite field.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's using the whole field. That double that he had yesterday drove in a couple runs, went to right center.
Hot shot to third. David Freese takes it and throws him out. Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead. Josh Donaldson has been terrific in the leadoff spot. He's now 6 for 9 hitting first in the order, and he goes deep on a 3-2 pitch to center. Home run number 9 for Donaldson.
2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Josh Donaldson taking the field for the top of the second. Comes over to talk to his shortstop partner. Brian Goins had some words and then a little encouragement. You can get him, man. Just give him a little scouting report on Santiago.
Boy, that just does wonders for a young player. You know, when a veteran like that comes over and talks to you and gives you the scouting report. Josh Donaldson's a pro, man.
Goins certainly appreciates being included. Donaldson takes the bouncing ball off the bat of Cole Calhoun. 4 in a row retired by Sanchez, and that's a trend we've seen lately.
Well, he's getting better. As the months rip off, he is starting to get better. You can see the earned run average in April was up over 5. It's 3.5 in the month of May. The opponent's batting average, respectable 260 in April, down to 194. And I think you're going to see that from Aaron. The more he pitches, the more comfortable he feels, the more he works with Russ Martin and sees these hitters, I think he's going to get better and better as the season wears on.
David Freese is the DH tonight. Taylor Featherston is the third baseman. Freese hit a home run yesterday. He was a 2-for-4 hitter in that game yesterday. His home run number 7. He's driven in 21 for the Angels. 0-2. Buried that breaking ball. You know, you mentioned Sanchez getting better and better. In his first 7 starts of the season, he walked 29. That's the second most walks in the first 7 starts to begin a season in franchise history. Al Leiter walked 31 in his first 7 starts of the season. The reason I bring that up, Leiter went on to win 162 games and pitch in 3 World Series. Walks don't bother me.
Yeah, well, they're young players and they're getting acclimated to the big leagues. They're still learning, I think, their delivery. Can you repeat your delivery? Can you still do it at the best league in the world right here, the major leagues? You don't have to overthrow. You don't have to make the perfect pitch. You just have to let your natural talent take over like that right there.
96 with sink. First strikeout of the evening for Sanchez. That's 5 in a row retired to start the game.
So many times you'll see young kids come up and they'll overthrow and they feel like they have to get a little bit more on it, but that's just the natural two-seam sinker right there. You can't teach that. You either have it or you don't have it, and he's got it. And when he stays back and he just relaxes and lets the ball work, he's going to get big league hitters out.
Matt Joyce is in the lineup. He was scratched from the lineup last night. He's the only one in this Angel lineup that has faced Aaron Sanchez in the past. Of course, last year he was with Tampa Bay and saw Sanchez second half of the season. He's 0 for 2 against Aaron. Another 0-2 count. You know what happens to young pitchers like Sanchez? They get up to the big leagues and they see Mike Trout, Albert Pujols. Wow, I can get them out. I'm going to start throwing more strikes.
Yeah, I'm going to get over. I don't want to overdo it and start reaching back for something that's really not there. Just stay within yourself and stay back over the rubber and let that whole body deliver the pitch home.
Calhoun and Jared Weaver keeping a close eye on Sanchez. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 6 up, 6 down. Good start for Aaron Sanchez. He's got a 1-0 lead. That sinker's working early. Running back over the plate, tying up Matt Joyce.
race coverage starts at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, the Indy 500 on City and Sportsnet 1. And wish all the best to Canadian driver James Hinchcliffe, guys. He was in a horrific-looking accident on the weekend. Was in hospital, had surgery, and we're hoping he pulls through and he's all good as new soon.
Absolutely, Barry. We want to echo those sentiments up here. Pat and I both wishing the best for James Hinchcliffe. Been a rough practice session in Indy, that's for sure. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. This is Chris Colabello. He's batting in the 6th spot tonight. Blue Jays are doing a good job of making Santiago throw strikes.
Last time out, 8 strikeouts, no walks in his last start, but tonight still hasn't been able to find that release point. He's falling behind too many hitters.
Colabello hits a high fly, not that deep into center. Mike Trout over a couple of steps makes the catch. 1 down.
Take a little closer look at tonight's starter for the Los Angeles Angels, Hector Santiago, what he features and what the opponents are hitting. Note the fastball. He throws it 55% of the time, and the batters are hitting just 200 against him. That 200 average is in the top 5 in all of baseball for average against the fastball. Changeup, same way, just a 200 average. He'll cut the ball, slider, and a changeup. That he will feature tonight.
This is Kevin Pillar facing Santiago. We mentioned Santiago. He's 27 years old. He was born in New Jersey. Pillar fouls it back. Kevin Pillar got to reunite with somebody that had a big impact in his career.
His high school coach is in the house tonight. He's actually in the house because he's with the Los Angeles Angels.
Hot shot. Nice play by Featherston. Takes a hit away from Kevin Pillar.
Yeah, Mark Gubicza, who does the television, the former player, television analyst for the Los Angeles Angels, was Kevin Pillar's high school coach. And I asked Gooby about Kevin, what kind of baseball player he was. He said he was a great athlete in high school. He played football, played basketball. He was a heck of a basketball player in baseball. And I said, well, you must have been a heck of a coach because you got a big leaguer.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kevin Pillar was asking about Gubicza the first day in here yesterday. Got a chance to visit with him today. Steve Tollison jumps back from an inside pitch. Tollison's done a nice job filling in for Devin Travis. He went 2 for 5 yesterday, scored a couple of runs, had a double, and stole a base. Travis continues to deal with that shoulder problem, just not 100% yet. Santiago and Iannetta didn't really have their heads together. So Santiago asked for another set of signs, and now they're on the same page. Off the plate, the appeal down to first, and Paul Schreiber said he went around. There's Devin, and Devin has been out on the field. He's been working out, trying to get healthy, but still not at the point where they want to get him back in there.
Maybe another day. I'll tell you, there is nothing like being a young player, contributing to a team, and then getting injured where you have to sit out. You start worrying about everything. Am I going to keep my timing? Am I going to keep my job? When I get back in there, am I still going to have success? You'll be fine.
This is popped up and playable. Pujols into foul territory. The inning is over. Good bounce back inning for Santiago. He's retired 6 in a row after the home run in the first.
night, and what a great prize you can bid on. That man right there, Aaron Sanchez and Marcus Stroman, will be your guests for a private lunch at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. There are many one-of-a-kind Blue Jays experiences and prizes to be had. Proceeds, of course, go to the Blue Jays Care Foundation. Visit bluejays.com/broadcast auction for details. Stroman and Sanchez, best friends, and I imagine that would be a lot of fun having lunch with those two guys.
They are two of the finest young men you'll ever meet, and a chance to have lunch with them. I'm sure they'll tell a lot of stories on each other and make it a very memorable lunch. That's something to bid on for sure. There's probably a lot of young ladies that might pay an extra $1 or $2 to go to lunch with those two guys. Huh?
And are they picking up the tab?
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
They're big leaguers.
They should.
Yep.
Getting that big league meal money.
Chris Iannetta. Well, he had a big day yesterday. Iannetta had a pair of doubles and a home run. First time in his career he had 3 extra base hits in a game. He's been scuffling. Ouch. That hit right off the top of his foot. Iannetta just hitting over 100 prior to his last 2 games. He's bounced his average up. 6 hits in his last 10 at bats.
Said there was nothing wrong with the mechanics of my swing. My timing was just messed up. Well, his timing has been fine the last 2 days.
Lead off single. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Unbelievable. What a terrific talent. One nothing Blue Jays. This is Taylor Featherston. He's getting a start at third base. He's moved around. He's a utility player. He's appeared defensively at third, short, and second.
Mike Scioscia says he wants to get some of his regulars off of this turf here. And they've got 4 games. So David Freese gets the off day tonight.
Ball and a strike to the third baseman.
He'd like to give Mike Trout. I read somewhere where he wants to give Trout a day and Albert Pujols a day off the turf.
Now this turf is a little bit more forgiving than what they have seen here in the past. I think Trout will tell you that. Where was that?
Wow, that ball looked like it was one of those high strikes.
Looked like it had plenty of the strike zone, and that'll make Russell Martin go to work.
Yeah, and he is right now. And the thing that hurts about that, it's a 1-1 pitch. It's now 2-1 as opposed to 1-2.
Boy, that ball is really diving. It gets right there to the hitting zone and then disappears. Mike Scioscia, 15-year catcher in the big leagues, passes signs to Gary DiSarcina, the third base coach. Scioscia is an exception in that most managers have their bench coach call the running offense. Featherston strikes out. 3 strikeouts for Sanchez.
That's that 2-seam fastball once again in a good spot. It's down and there's a lot of late movement. Watch how he grips that ball with the 2 seams, and you see the type of rotation as it comes straight down. He's going to get his share of strikeouts with that pitch. He's also going to get his share of ground ball outs with that 2-seamer if he maintains that pace and he maintains that delivery.
Second baseman Johnny Giovatelli. He had 2 hits in the game yesterday. He was 2 for 4. The Angels had 12 hits, and they have not had much offense lately, but they scored 6 runs on a normal day. That's plenty for them to win.
The way they've been pitching, but yesterday the Blue Jays exploded for 10.
The Angels pitchers had allowed just 9 runs total in the 6 games prior to yesterday's ball game. Bouncing ball. Tollefson waits on the big hop, and that's all they'll get. Goins coming across the bag. Just takes the force out. The Blue Jays have played very well here at Rogers Center. They're 10-7 at home, and they love to hit in this ballpark. You look at the numbers, and everything is positive across the board at home. Not the same on the road, for sure.
Big difference. 2 runs difference, earned run average higher on the road. They hit a little bit better. They obviously have been outscoring their opponents here at home. Got to figure that out. Got to figure out how to win on the road.
2 outs, back to the top of the order. Eric Ibar grounded out to second his first time up. Well, Russell Martin does a terrific job catching that low strike. It's especially difficult with Sanchez because he's got that sinker at 95, 96, and you have a tendency to turn your glove over, but he has the ability to keep that thumb up, and the pitch looks like a strike.
You know what? You better have strong hands. And that's one thing that Russell has. He's got very strong hands to be able to guide that ball and keep it right there. A lot of times you'll see catchers take that pitch and take it right out of the strike zone. And that hurts their pitcher. He's got those strong hands where he can keep it right there.
Another bouncing ball. Tollefson will flip to second to end the inning. The force out does it. They get a leadoff single, but can't do much with it. Aaron Sanchez threw 3.
Presented by Acura. Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Josh Donaldson with a leadoff home run off of Hector Santiago. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Blue Jays here in the third. Ryan Goins will lead things off. Goins was 2 for 3 yesterday, had an RBI and scored a run.
I'd like to see him get right on top of the plate and try and pull everything. I'll tell you why. Inside pitches, he hits over 400. Outside pitches like that one right there, he's hit barely over 100. I think if he gets on the plate and tries to pull everything, I think that's where his strengths are. He's a little bit too far off the plate to reach that outside ball.
You see the quadrants of the strike zone there. The inside quadrant is where Goins is really strong. So if you move close to the plate, then the inside becomes half the plate.
Yeah, and you can reach that outside pitch. See that? Look where they pitched him. Everything was away.
So with 1 out, Josh Donaldson will come up, and the third baseman is among the best in the business. In the American League, the third base OPS leaders this season, and it's a great list of third basemen. Evan Longoria of the Rays, he is 800. Manny Machado, the youngster from Baltimore, is 821. Mike Moustakas is having a terrific offensive start to his season, 858. And then Josh Donaldson, the leader of the pack, 921 OPS for Donaldson, best in the American League among third basemen.
Think about all the great third basemen. You saw 4 of them right there. Some great third basemen in the American League.
We'll see one of them here on Friday night, Kyle Seager of the Mariners. But Josh Donaldson is the best of the bunch.
Adrian Beltre, he's pretty good. Brett Laurie, we're going to see him this season with Oakland now. But the finest, I think, is right here. The numbers spell it out. He's also made some great plays defensively. That's why we wanted to highlight him on our defensive board.
He swings in, pops it into center field. Easy play for Mike Trout. Donaldson's retired on the fly ball to center, 2 down. Well, Donaldson has fit right into this ball club, and you play every day. You're certainly going to gain the respect of your teammates, and then you produce the way Donaldson has, and that's just an added benefit. Jose Bautista walked his first time up. This time he goes after the first pitch, and it's a liner right to the shortstop. Quick inning for Santiago. Just 8 pitches. He's retired 9 in a row. And Mike Trout's one special player. He's 23 years old, but if you look at the WAR since 2012, wins above replacement, Mike Trout leads an impressive list of stars.
2 things. One, it's not even close. Mike Trout is up by a lot over McCutchen from Pittsburgh. And the second thing is, I guess that gives WAR, the responsibility. There are all those MVP award winners right there. Trout was an MVP, McCutchen, Cabrera won 2, and Buster Posey. So I guess that legitimizes the WAR stat that we've been talking about.
And WAR is an interesting study. It really gives you benefits for defense, for offense. It's an overall value of a player, his value above what a normal player would be. And certainly those 4 people aren't normal.
Yeah, no, they're all
special players.
Special players.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Tollefson has to throw it quickly, and Trout is out. Tollefson knows Trout hustles down the line every time, and he unloaded in a hurry to throw out Mike Trout.
Trout can run, and he gets out of the box, and he's thinking base hit right here. That's a good strong throw from Steve Tollefson from the other side of second base, and accurately so. Encarnacion can step into it, stretch for it. One more thing on that WAR, Buck. Don't ask me to explain it, because I can't do it.
Well, you understand what it is, but there are different formulas to come up with a number, and I think that's what's challenging about it.
I understand that it's pretty good.
It's good.
If you've got a high one like Mike Trout does.
Albert Pujols This is popped up near the seats, and that'll be out of play. Just another thought on Mike Trout. Hazel May has interviewed Mike Trout, and that will air tomorrow night on Blue Jays Central. So you get a chance to hear Hazel May, and I'm sure she'll do a terrific job. And you get a chance to hear Mike Trout. He's a special young man. He's very cordial, has a lot of insight into the game, loves to play baseball, and he's just 23 years old. So check it out tomorrow night on Blue Jays Central. Goins makes a nice play, takes a hit away from Albert Pujols. Pujols got up on top of that and lined it to the shortstop.
He has that ability to keep his hands above the baseball, does Albert Pujols, and get on top of those high fastballs like he does right here. But placement by Goins, he gets a good jump, and that's a star right there. Star play by Goins. Second one this inning.
A red star goes on that one along with Tollison's. Pujols is 0 for 2. This is Cole Calhoun, the cleanup hitter. He goes after the first pitch, and this is trouble. Down the left field line, and it's gone. An opposite field home run for Cole Calhoun. His 4th home run of the season. The 5th home run the opponents have hit off of Aaron Sanchez, and they've all been hit by lefty batters.
Mike Scioscia wanted to get some kind of production behind Albert Pujols. So he took Cole Calhoun, who's been hitting leadoff for the most part this season, and he's been swinging a hot bat. He sticks him in the 4-hole to drive in some runs, and he does that right here. High fastball. And he is able to stay on that ball and through that ball and on a line down the left field line. Home run.
So it's a 1-1 game now. What's the difference between the home run pitch and that pitch right there? It was a 2-seam fastball, but the one that Calhoun hit was flat.
Yeah, and it was up. And when it's down, the hitter's got to reach for it, and he loses all of his power. When it's up, he can just stay behind it and stay on line with it like Calhoun did, and he can drive that ball the other way. I didn't think he had that kind of power the other way.
Sanchez may have supplied most of it. There's another good sinker. Difference in the elevation of those 3 pitches. They're down in the zone. That's the 5th home run Sanchez has given up this season, and they've all been left-handed hitters. There's a curveball. Nice bounce back for Sanchez after the 2-out home run. Cole Calhoun hitting in the cleanup spot. The Angels have been desperate for some production out of the 4-hole, and Calhoun provides it. 1-1 ball game.
on demand in true HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and much more. MLB.TV Premium also includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. That is Barry Davis with all that information. Hector Santiago, he has retired 9 in a row. Josh Donaldson hit a leadoff home run. Bautista then walked, and since then, 9 up, 9 down. The Angels have really been desperate for production in the cleanup spot. That home run from Cole Calhoun, just the 20th RBI they've gotten from the 4th spot in the lineup all season long. That's 18th in the major leagues. Remember, they thought they were going to have Josh Hamilton batting cleanup.
He was going to be their guy, a righty-lefty combination with Pujols, but that has now turned the page and moved on. And he said, Mike Scioscia said about Calhoun, he says, we're going to see how long this lasts. You know, he's our hot hitter, and I need someone behind Albert to give him a little protection.
Santiago with a full count to Encarnacion. Edwin tapped back to the mound. Russell Martin will bat next. Off the end of the bat, that's going to hang up for Matt Joyce as Encarnacion was out in front. 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Remember, Hector Santiago coming into this game, he's given up 1 run or less in 5 of his 7 starts. He gave up 3 runs to Kansas City in his first start of the season. He lost that game, and then 4 runs at San Francisco to the Giants on May 2nd. Everything else, it's been 1 run or less.
And he's been going fairly deep into ball games. 6, 6 1/3, 5, 5 1/3, 6 and 7. Those are his last 5 starts. 8 strikeouts in his last game. That was against Colorado.
Inside, we mentioned that Santiago went to Okaloosa Walton College. It's a junior college in Niceville, Florida. He's college played against Russell Martin's college, Chipola Junior College. Some great baseball played down there in the Panhandle. That one gets by Giovatello. Boy, once you start backing up on a ground ball, you're asking for trouble, especially on this turf.
He was trying to get the big hop, but it just never came to him. Watch how he gives ground at second base. If he comes right over, he cuts that ball off, but he gives ground. And then the in-between hop, and it just doesn't come up for him. That's another instance where this turf, this playing surface, works out for the Blue Jays.
You know, on the old infield here, you had to go back on that ball, but not the case with this softer, slower infield. So that snaps 10 in a row, retired by Santiago. 1 out single by Martin. Danny Valencia. Valencia coming into this game 12 for 26 against lefty pitching. So 462 average.
That's crazy. Great numbers. That breaking ball is going to constantly come into him, so he can sit and wait for his pitch. To his credit against the lefties that he's had this year, he hasn't overswung. He has stayed together, tried to hit the ball in the big part of the ballpark, left center, right center field, and it's worked out for him.
There's a sinking liner that'll get down in front of Matt Joyce. Valencia has another base hit, back-to-back 1 out singles. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Nelson Cruz and the Mariners will be here Friday night. You get a chance to see him firsthand. 33 RBIs now for Cruz. That was his 16th home run, as Jamie mentioned. That came off Miguel Gonzalez. The Blue Jays couldn't do a thing against Gonzalez.
How about the power displays by Nelson Cruz and Bryce Harper this year? Wow. 16 and 15 home runs now.
First and second, one out. Chris Colabello flied out to center field his first time up. Colabello's been very aggressive early in at-bats, and Brooke Jacoby was aware they might start pitching him a little carefully on that first pitch or two.
More off-speed pitches. Maybe try to crowd him a little bit. You see how he took that last pitch? How that front shoulder stayed in there? He's looking for the ball out away from him.
Jacoby is back on the bench after serving that 14-day suspension, and he is one happy camper back with his boys on the bench. He gets a lot of feedback from the hitters in between innings, asking Goins about that breaking ball. Colabello's been very productive with runners in scoring position. He's 5 for 7 with 5 ribbies. Way outside, not even close. Mike Scioscia's pitching staff has been very consistent. They've really gotten a nice start to their season with their pitchers. Colabello had another pitch on his mind.
Yeah, that ball was right there. Right where he wanted the ball, and he took it. You could see he's frustrated a little bit.
Jared Weaver will pitch tomorrow against Drew Hutchison. Matt Shoemaker will pitch on Thursday, the series finale against R.A. Dickey. Two-two pitch. Little bit of miscommunication between Santiago and Giovitella. Giovitella broke to the bag, expecting Santiago to turn and fire him on pickoff attempt.
Yeah, like there was a play on watch. He sees Santiago looking home. He sees the back of his head, and then he tries to duck him behind second base, but then Santiago delivered the ball home. No harm, no foul right now, but it creates a little bit bigger hole for Colabello to shoot for when the infielders are moving around like that.
Santiago this time with the inside move. Martin, he's inching off. You wouldn't expect him to run in this situation.
Yeah, I don't expect him to run, but I think they're trying to keep him close just in case there's a hit to the outfield. The outfield here is very deep for Chris Colabello. Just a little bit of a calling card there to say, hey, take a step back towards the bag.
Well, you make a great point about the outfield being deep because this turf is so slow. Louis Rivera has been able to score a lot of base runners from second base on routine singles. The ball just doesn't get to the outfield.
He's going to pick that up, and he has picked that up in the past. Mike Trout, especially for his speed, is very deep in center field.
Now it's a full count. Well, you might start the runner here with Pilar on deck. Colabello, he can put the bat on the ball, and with the runners moving, you might open up a hole on the infield.
Yep, stay out of the double play. You take your chance that Colabello is going to make contact.
It's a 1-1 game. We're in the fourth. Santiago has just one strikeout. There go the runners. Colabello strikes out, throw to third, strike him out, throw him out. So they roll the dice, and the Blue Jays Roll snake eyes. It's a strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong.
Colby is back in the Blue Jays dugout after serving that 14-game suspension. I had a chance to talk to him today. He said it was one of the hardest things he has done since he's been in the game. You see, he wasn't allowed in the dugout. He wasn't even allowed in the clubhouse during those 14 games. During home games, he would watch from one of the suites, and on the road, he'd just sit in the stands. He said there are times in the game where he would notice the opposing pitcher was doing something, might be off, and he wanted so badly to be able to make contact with his players and say, watch out for this, but he wasn't able to do that. Guys, he told me from here on in, other than watching a game from the dugout or at home on TV, he does not see himself ever watching baseball from the stands again.
Yeah, he was like a caged lion sitting up there in the seats on the road trip, and he is happy to be back in that dugout and happy to be able to communicate with his hitters.
Every day I'd ask him, how you doing? Where are you sitting during the game? And he'd just grit his teeth and like, just 4 more days left. I invited him to come in and hang out with us, Buck, but he didn't want to do that.
This is Matt Joyce. Matt Joyce struck out against Sanchez to end the second. It's a 1-1 game. Both runs coming on solo home runs. Donaldson in the first. Cole Calhoun in the fourth. (3-0). Sanchez has been consistent in the strike zone early in this game.
Yeah, he's been very smooth throughout his delivery. Those last few, it looked like he was trying to guide it in there. There you go.
Aaron Sanchez really throwing a lot of strikes tonight. He's got 4 strikeouts so far. Hot shot on the ground. Tollison is right there. Joyce is retired.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
This is Chris Iannetta. He had a single off of Sanchez to start the third inning, but they couldn't take advantage of that leadoff single.
See, that's what I think Aaron Sanchez has the ability to do. That last batter that we just saw, he fell behind 3-0. 3-1 fastball. A little sinker to it, and he gets a pretty good hitter, Matt Joyce, just to roll over on that ground ball.
What I would like to see him do is throw that 3-0 fastball on the first pitch.
Certainly.
And then go from there.
And then work from there. But even when he falls behind, you see that 95 miles an hour with movement, even if he falls behind, he still has the ability to get guys out.
1-2. Curveball. Strikeout number 5 for Sanchez. Boy, he has really gotten a feel for that curveball as he is now into his 8th start.
There it is right there. He'll spin it off that index finger, and he gets great rotation with it right over the top. And his strike zone percentage is going up, up, up with that curveball.
Every time he strikes out an Angel hitter, Dino Ebel, the bench coach for the Angels, grits his teeth. Ebel and Sanchez are both from Barstow, California. And Sanchez went to school with Dino Ebel's daughter in high school. Donaldson backhands it. Easy inning. 1-2-3. And a strikeout. 5 Ks for Sanchez through 5 innings.
In radio. For daily coverage, headlines, analysis, and schedule, visit sportsnet.ca/Blue Jays. And you see Shai Davidi there. You'll be reading him later on the story that there was rumors that maybe Gibby and Pete Walker are on the block, on the firing block. But Shai Davidi says there is no truth to that. Both of them are here, at least for the short term, guys.
Barry, there's entirely too many rumors on the social media. And I don't think John Gibbons is in any trouble at all.
You know, he made a great point yesterday when you and I were talking to him. He said we're getting beat by teams. We're not giving away games, and we're not playing sloppy baseball. We're playing good baseball, and we're just getting beat. That's going to happen.
Yeah, and you know what? We talked specifically about the Houston Astros series where they were swept. Well, Houston's 25-14. You know, they got the best record in the American League, and they play very well.
Mm-hmm.
Just because everybody associates Houston with what they've done the last 3 years, it's not the case anymore.
Not the case. And every game was close. They were good games. Blue Jays didn't do anything. They played hard. They came to play. They had good at-bats. They just got beat.
Evan Pilar hits the 0-2 pitch on the ground to short. Scooped, and Pujols can't dig this one out. Boy, Pujols has gotten some tough plays on routine grounders. Ibar just lollipopped it over there, and it bounced and handcuffed Pujols.
That'll be the 5th error on Eric Ibar. He's a Gold Glover, and this one goes down. And the bad part about this one is Pujols gets in front of that baseball. Looks like it hit him up around the face area, and then he collides with Kevin Pillar. Ibar charged with the error.
Yeah, and that's one that will drive managers nuts. A routine ball. He just bounced it over there at first, and Mike Scioscia is one about fundamentals, and his teams always play tight defense.
Just the 21st error that they have committed this season.
The outfield's so good they haven't even committed an error.
They haven't committed what? They have 21 errors now, 6 of them by their pitchers. 6 errors by the pitchers. So they have really caught the ball on the inner defense.
Kevin Pillar's 6 for 7 in steal attempts. He was caught yesterday for the first time, and it was a bang-bang play at second. Tollefson pulls the off-speed pitch. It's 0-2. Blue Jays challenged that call at second base. That came in the 5th inning. Pillar had taken off on the first move by C.J. Wilson, and they threw him out at second. There was a pickoff caught stealing. Tried to come inside and missed up and away. So now Mike Scioscia's got his catcher's mask on in his mind, thinking about this situation. He passes on the running defense to the catcher, Iannetta. Tollefson fights it off and stays alive. It's hard to fathom, but Mike Scioscia has managed longer than he played. He played 15 years in the major leagues as a catcher. This is his 16th season as manager.
He's good. He is really good because he was an ex-catcher. He can really handle catching, pitching staff, running a team, running a ball game. You see him go through all those signs right there. That's throw over, pitch out, what they want to do in this certain situation right here.
Scioscia has had some outstanding catchers to work with. He had the Molina brothers at the same time. Then he had Jeff Mathis and Mike Napoli. And he has done a terrific job. And you see the list of active managers and their win record. Scioscia is second to Bruce Bochy. Showalter, Francona, and Hurdle. Top 5 in wins.
And if anybody knows anything about catching, it's Mike Scioscia. And that's where the game really starts, through the catcher.
He learned from John Roseborough and Del Crandall, 2 of the best. It's a shorter move, but not effective from Santiago.
Yeah, we got a chance a couple of years ago to sit down with Mike Scioscia and talk to him about that, where you learned your catching. And he said it's just old school baseball. I learned it while I was in the minor leagues with Del Crandall in the Dodger organization.
Pillar thought about running, but Santiago gave him that slide step. And once he recognized the slide step, he got back to first.
A little bit quicker to home, Santiago, and you can see Pillar bluffed. And then he did the right thing. Ball gets by the hitter, plant that right foot and get back quickly.
Santiago went back to the back of the mound to get the rosin bag and get a better grip on this baseball. Full count. He didn't like that baseball. Wants another one. You can see he's still trying to get comfortable with his fingers on his pitching hand. Ryan Goins is the next batter.
Well, this is the same situation, I think, that ended the last inning. They had to strike him out, throw him out. They elected to try to make something happen. Would be a bad time to try and go right here.
I'd run him again. 3-2. There goes Pillar. Ball 4. The reason you run him in that situation is because Goins, a left-handed batter, is next. So now you put Goins in a situation where he can bunt. And ball 4, first and second, nobody out. But if you keep Pillar there and there's a ground ball out, then you've got a lefty bat, 1 out, and you know, you're kind of in a tough spot. So Gibbons rolled the dice again.
He likes to make things happen, or try and make things happen with the lower part of his batting order. So they send the runner. It's ball 4, and now Ryan Goins is going to have to get those runners, move them up.
Goins bunted for about 20 minutes before the game, and Scioscia wants the infield to come in. They expect to bunt. Goins squares around and bunts it up the third base line. It's a beauty. Featherston stays with it. Santiago got out of his way just in time. Featherston, the third baseman, made a nice throw, but Goins does his job.
You know, you mentioned that he was out here early bunting off of the pitching machine and bunting left-handed breaking balls. What a brilliant move by Tim Leeper and the rest of the coaching staff getting these guys out here, because here's the situation. It comes up in this ball game right here. All you have to do is get it down. Third baseman calls him off, aggressively makes the throw over to first base. And now we're going to talk about, well, who do you want to face? Do you want to face Josh Donaldson, second and third, one out, or do you want to put him on and face Bautista with the bases loaded?
This is really interesting because Mike Butcher is the pitching coach. Donaldson is red hot. He had a home run in his first at bat. Bautista, he's a two-time home run champ. You're going to rattle his cage and walk Donaldson to put a man at first and load the bases?
You know, if you do, you're right. You're going to rattle his cage. You're going to get him fired up. And he always seems to come through when the other team seems to do things like that to him.
It's a 1-1 game. We're in the fifth. Looks like they're going to pitch to Donaldson.
Pitch to him and put the infield back.
That ball gets away from Iannetta, but not far enough to advance. Remember, Pilar reached on an air on a routine grounder to short, and then Tollison walked. Sacrifice bunt. Blue Jays are right back to the top of the order. This is where they do all their damage.
Boy, I love when Devin Travis couldn't make it. Not that part, but I love that John Gibbons just moved everybody up. And now here's Josh Donaldson, a proven run producer in a run-producing situation.
Down and in.
Didn't take long in the first inning. First at bat, it was a long at bat. I believe this was the seventh pitch of the at bat. And that's how the Blue Jays got their run right there. Bounces it right off the top of the wall in center field. Put a good hitter in that number one hole, that leadoff spot. Get that extra at bat. You got a chance to drive in some runs.
Really not giving in to Donaldson. You can see where all three pitches are well out of the strike zone.
Yeah, and I can't believe he's going to challenge him.
Mike Butcher delivered the message to Santiago.
Blue Jays did a great job yesterday hitting with runners in scoring position. 7 base hits with runners in scoring position yesterday.
7 for 20 for the game, and they still stranded 10.
They were 6 for 38 runners in scoring position during that 5-game losing streak. 6. Got 7 all of yesterday. Here's another opportunity, and they just took the ball right back through the middle or hit the ball the other way.
There's a drive to center field. Trout on the run. Tagging is Pilar. Here's the throw to home. Not in time. Donaldson has driven in both runs for the Blue Jays, and they have a 2-1 lead. Pick your poison. Donaldson or Bautista.
And he stayed in the middle of the field, too. He didn't want to overcommit against Santiago. Stayed in the middle of the field and drove that ball to center field for the RBI. His 28th now.
Pilar comes across, and he reached on the air by Ibar. Thomason's at second. There are 2 outs now for Bautista. Jose walked in the first, lined out to the shortstop in the third. Popped down the right side. Pujols has room on the warning track, makes the catch. The inning is over. The Blue Jays score a run without benefit of a hit, 2-1. And now it's time for the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products.
Let's go!
Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent. Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Aaron Sanchez set to start the 6th inning. He has a 2-1 lead. Both pitchers are really in a groove. They are pitching very well, both Hector Santiago and Aaron Sanchez.
5 strikeouts and no walks for Aaron through 5. He has looked under control, not in control. He has looked under control with his delivery. Under control where he's not forcing it, he's staying back just a little bit more. He just feels a little bit, it looks a little bit more fluid.
Baseball is a rhythmic game, and you can't perform baseball by the numbers, and you certainly can't perform baseball robotically. There's a rhythm to it and a flow. Pitchers need it and hitters need it. And Sanchez has got it. You can see how patient he is, and he's not falling off toward the first base foul line. He's getting over that front leg, and he's allowing that curveball to break, not trying to force it to break.
Yeah, I just love his direction tonight. I've been watching his front side and how it just steps right towards home plate. And then he finishes with a great leg swing, meaning that backside is going to get through to finish off those pitches.
Remember early in the season when he was trying to generate velocity, he was throwing 92, 93. Now he's in rhythm, and it's jumping out of his hand at 95 and 96. Breaking ball is lifted to right. Colabello makes the catch. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, that's the biggest surprise of all, is the way the Yankees veterans, Alex Rodriguez and Mark Teixeira, have bounced back.
Yeah, Mark Teixeira has had a great first half.
Let me qualify that statement. Maybe the biggest surprise is the fact Tampa Bay is a game out of first. 21-18, the division is separated by just 4.5 games in total.
How are they doing it without 3 starters?
Yeah, they just keep going. You know what? And Kevin Cash has kind of brought in a fresh new attitude, but it's the same attitude. Hey, we just play with the guys we have.
Yeah, we don't worry about who's not here. We worry about who's here and just play. Aaron Sanchez looks in control. Can you bottle that and keep that for the rest of the season? That's what you get with young pitchers. Sometimes they're out of sync, sometimes they're in sync, and when they've got that kind of talent, it is a thing of beauty to watch.
That's a little looper. That's going to be over the glove of Thomas and into right. Ibar with a broken bat bloop single. Aaron Sanchez came into this game with a terrific opponent's batting average, 229. That's the best on the Blue Jays rotation.
How about that? 229. You know, for him, it's always been about command and control and being able to throw strikes. And when you throw strikes, good things are going to happen. You combine that with just a 229 batting average. He's had a lot of base runners, but he's been able to get out of the problems that he has created on his own. Tonight, so far, no base on balls, and this is what happens.
Mike Trout tried to check his swing and went around. The Angels are 3 for 19 tonight against Sanchez, so that just improves those opponents' batting average numbers for Sanchez. Mike Trout has grounded out twice. We mentioned that Trout asked me before the game, are they going to open the roof? I like it when the roof is closed. And then he says, yeah, I know. I don't hit well here, but I like it. Trout coming into this game, a 182 average here at Rogers Center.
Hard to fathom. They have really, really pitched him tough.
We want to remind you, Mike Trout did an interview with our Hazel May, and that'll be aired tomorrow at 6:30 on Blue Jays Central. So make sure you check it out. Chance to hear Mike Trout.
You know what's amazing about those numbers? Not that he's hitting, under 200 or whatever. It's the strikeouts that the Blue Jays have been able to get against Mike Trout. He doesn't strike out a lot. Last 10 games versus the Blue Jays, he struck out 13 times coming into this game.
There's a little looper into center. Pilar is not going to get there. Tried the decoy Ibar, and Mike Trout on his follow through. The bat broke and came around and hit Russell Martin. And the bat shattered, and the barrel came around and hit Martin. And Trout was very concerned as he went down to first base.
Yeah, I think the umpire got hit too. That's Sean Barber. Little ricochet. The bat shatters. It's a curveball. He gets it off, or excuse me, a changeup. He gets it off the end of the bat, shatters the bat, and watch the barrel. Hit Russell and the home plate umpire.
Boy, that's dangerous. And you see how concerned Mike Trout is as he recognizes that barrel, and the sharp end of the bat goes around and hits the catcher and the umpire. And he turns right around, and he knows that that barrel has hit both Martin and Barber.
Fights that one off. Wow, it got him right in the neck. And if he could, I think he would have stayed there to make sure that they were okay, but he had to start running.
Well, it appears as though both Martin and the umpire, Sean Barber, are okay. So Albert Pujols steps in with 2 aboard and 1 out.
Good pitch right there. You see Russell Martin after that pitch, although he didn't get the call. He said that'll way to throw that one right there. You can see on pitch tracks, it hits the inside corner.
First pitch curveball. This is the first time the Angels have had a runner at second. It's first and second, 1 out. Up and in. Pujols lined to the shortstop in the 4th. A terrific play by Goins. Took a hit away from Pujols. The single by Ibar was on a curveball. The broken bat single by Trout was on a changeup. This gets back to the old adage, get beat with your best stuff.
Yeah, I think the base hit by Ibar was a broken bat also. Yeah, if you're going to get beat with your best stuff, and tonight it's his fastball. And I think what you don't want to do here is muscle through this right here. Stay nice and relaxed. Concentrate on making pitches. I think if you start muscling up, trying to generate a little bit too much here, that's when the ball's going to flatten out.
Calhoun homered his last time up. He's on deck. Donaldson backhands at second for 1, back to first. What a double play! Oh, Pujols hit it hard down the third base line. Donaldson was anchored there. He backhands it and makes a very good throw to second. There's the backhand. He throws a strike to Donaldson, who converts with Trout all over him at second.
xissue.ca/baseball and get an extended 60-day free trial. Well, speaking of stories, guys, how about Aaron Sanchez tonight?
He is really in a groove tonight, Barry. At first and second with Albert Pujols at the plate, and Pujols hits a hot shot. And Sanchez, watch his reaction to the double play.
See, I love that. Youthful enthusiasm. He's your guy. He came up through your farm system. He's pitching a whale of a game, and it showed a little emotion. I love it.
Hector Santiago, he's pitching well. Also, he's allowed the Blue Jays just 3 hits. Santiago has given up a home run and a sacrifice fly to Josh Donaldson. That's it. 3 balls and a strike.
Just 2 strikeouts, so he has made him put the ball in play. Blue Jays scored that run courtesy of an error by the shortstop.
A leadoff walk.
Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Folks stocking up at the Jays shop right here at Rogers Center. Getting their merchandise. Says Russell Martin, the catcher. Russell's 1 for 2. He's hitting .400 in the month of May. And Iannetta has taken a trip to the mound.
You know, it's not a soft .400 also. He's got some extra base pop, and he's come up with some big base hits for the Blue Jays. 6 doubles, 4 homers, and 10 RBIs over his last 14 games, and a lot of them big base hits. Like yesterday, stayed right on that pitch. Castano kept pumping fastballs with some good movement on it, and he just stayed right with them.
Ball on the strike. There's a line drive, base hit into center field. Encarnacion will stop at second. Martin's 2 for 3.
Simple at bats, a simple approach. It's short. There's not a lot of movement. Just use your hands. Santiago with a sinker that is up. And a base hit into center field. So a leadoff walk and now a single. And the Blue Jays are keeping the pressure on Santiago.
Now the hits are even at 4 apiece. Mike Scioscia had to go deep into his bullpen yesterday. He used 4 relievers to close out the game. Get the final 3 innings. Danny Valencia fouls it back. C.J. Wilson had a rough second inning, but really settled in and probably had a little bit more in the tank. He threw 98 pitches over his 5 innings of work. But then Scioscia went to the bullpen.
Yeah, he was getting stronger, I thought. I thought it maybe one more inning they could have sent him out there. But it worked out for the Blue Jays, certainly.
A couple of pitches up and away. You can see Valencia is frustrated. He felt like he should have hit those balls hard.
Yeah, a little bit long, too, on those pitches, meaning his swing's just a little bit long. Backside's dropping just a little bit, and he was not able to get on top of it. He is at his best when he is shortening up that swing.
He had a 2-run double yesterday. He hit that to the alley in right center. Valencia caught looking at strike 3 as Santiago strikes him out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. The Rays, as we mentioned, playing good baseball. Erasmo Ramirez is on the mound for Tampa Bay. Colabello goes after the first pitch and skies it to center field. Mike Trout is there. The runners will hold. So now there are 2 outs. A leadoff walk and a single, and Santiago has retired Valencia and Colabello. So now it's up to Kevin Pillar to pick up his teammates here with 2 outs. Reached on an error and scored the go-ahead run in the 5th. He had a ground ball to short, and Ibar bounced it to first for an error. Blue Jays manufactured that go-ahead run. Took advantage of the error. Then Tollefson walked. Goins had a sacrifice bunt, and Donaldson a sacrifice fly. Scored a run without benefit of a hit. Uh-oh. Santiago hurt himself. He caught his spikes after that pitch, and he's waving off the training staff, but we had mentioned how far across his body he throws. Now he's trying to keep the trainer off the field. But he catches his spike, and he lands with his foot closed, and he puts a lot of pressure on that landing leg.
Yeah, close to the batter. It looked like his back knee, or he twisted an ankle or something. You see, it's the left leg. Watch when he finishes his pitch, how that leg comes around and he just rolls his ankle.
Yeah, he did. You're right. It was his left ankle, and he's going to throw a pitch just to make sure he's okay.
That is scary when it first happens, because you just don't know the extent of the injury and how far just that little roll of the ankle can send shock waves up your leg.
Well, and you know, as an athlete, and you were a basketball player and a baseball player, boy, once you sprain your ankle, it'll go any time. It doesn't take much for it to sprain that ankle if you just catch it in an awkward position. So Pillar now behind 0-2. Boy, these are big runs, and we talk about insurance runs, and obviously by that we mean you got to get those extra runs to ensure that you don't cough up the lead if they should come back.
Yeah, and when you've got a pitcher on the ropes, and a leadoff walk and a single certainly puts that pitcher on the ropes, you don't want to let him out. You got him backed him up into a corner. Take advantage of it.
Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Blue Jays need some insurance runs, as they're 2-17 when they score fewer than 5 runs.
It's been a tough pitch for Kevin to lay off of that high fastball. Teams have been lately pounding him upstairs like that.
Got a much better pitch to hit.
Yeah.
He's down into his strength. Santiago has made some good pitches tonight. He and Sanchez have matched up. It's a 2-1 ball game. Strike 0-3 call, that inside fastball. Valencia took a strike. Pilar takes a strike. The Blue Jays strand a pair. And he's used all of his pitches for those strikeouts.
Well, what's been very impressive is the effort level. There's no effort at all, and the ball is just exploding towards home plate. The ball's moving on his two-seamer. It's moving on his curveball. He's picking up those strikeouts. And more importantly, no walks. That's the thing that's very impressive, and he's doing it without overexertion in his windup.
Boy, he is really smooth, and he's been very efficient. Just 77 pitches to this point. Aaron's longest outing to date, 7 innings against the Boston Red Sox 2 starts ago. Cole Calhoun homered over the left field wall back in the 4th. That accounted for the only Angel run of the ball game. That RBI was just the 20th RBI for the Angels in the cleanup spot this season.
They have had a lot of problems scoring runs. 3rd fewest runs in the American League coming into this game, and they're just looking for somebody to ignite them. He's doing something. Mike Scioscia's doing something that John Gibbons has done, is he's bunched his best hitters all together in the middle of their lineup.
A leadoff walk. That's the first walk of the ball game for Sanchez. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Hit one in the boat, in the river. That's a long way. Bounce on the concrete walkway, over the stands and right into a boat. Jamie, that's a good call. Alvarez 2 for 3, but they are getting hammered by those Twins. 8-3. Freeze bounces it to third. Donaldson will go to first and have a shot at Calhoun. Slow hit ball to third, and he took the out.
Yeah, the ball just took so long to get to Donaldson. Yeah, without even looking towards second base, he's just going to take the out over at first.
Yeah, you rush that throw trying to get Calhoun at second, throw it into right field, and you got all kinds of problems. So Matt Joyce, he's gone 0 for 2 tonight. Boy, he's had a rough start. This is his first season with the Angels. That ball gets away from Martin. He's trying to advance to third, and Russell had a shot at him, but threw it to the outside of the bag. Had he thrown that inside, he was going to get him. He got on it quick and made a good, strong throw, but it was just wide of third.
It would have been bang, bang over there at third base. Donaldson did everything he could. Curveball in the dirt, heads up play by Calhoun. He's going to try to advance. The ball did nothing when it hit that dirt. You can see where that throw is. It's to the foul territory, and by the time that Josh is able to bring that glove around, Cole Calhoun is going to be safe at third. So now the infield's got to come in.
So wild pitch, that's the 6th wild pitch that Sanchez has thrown. Tying run now at third. Two balls and no strikes to Matt Joyce.
Be careful here. Joyce has got some power. That two-seamer tonight, the two-seam sinking fastball by Sanchez has been golden for him. It got him out of last inning with a couple of runners on. It got the double play ball off the bat of Pujols, and now they're looking for another grounder.
2-1. Came back with that breaking ball, and that shows a lot of confidence. Martin calling for that curveball after one had gotten away in this at bat. And Sanchez didn't try to overthrow it, didn't try to bury it, just threw a nice, good curveball for a strike. Castellaneta, the catcher, is on deck. It's a full count, 1 out. You don't have to give in to Joyce here in this at bat. And they don't. Martin does a good job of getting in front of that curveball. So now Joyce will take the walk.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY expert sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Liam Hendricks getting loose in a hurry. We're in the 7th inning. Chris Iannetta has a single. He's also struck out. Blue Jays have turned one double play. That was in the 6th. That ended the 6th inning. Came off the bat of Albert Pujols.
Well, he wants to swing too, Iannetta. You throw him a good two-seamer, you can get the ball on the ground. You can strike him out or you can get the ground ball. Hitting 165. He's been a little bit hotter lately. But you make a good pitch, you can get out of this inning. Looks like they're going to go to a sinker again.
Ground ball, base hit through the left side. Calhoun comes in to score, and Iannetta has tied it up. His 2nd hit of the night, almost a carbon copy of his base hit into third.
They get the ground ball, but it's in the hole. It wasn't right at somebody. Iannetta swinging a hot stick. 3 extra base hits yesterday. This is his 2nd hit tonight. Sinker. Hits on top of it. He gets the ground ball, but he's too strong, and he pulls it right past Donaldson in the left field for a game-tying single.
Iannetta now with 8 hits in his last 14 at-bats. Heating up a bit. Calhoun with the leadoff walk comes in to score the tying run. 2 walks in the inning for Sanchez after not walking a man through 6. This is Taylor Featherston, the third baseman. He's 0 for 2. Right at the top of the zone. Donaldson goes on his knees. They get one. That's all they're going to get. Donaldson cut that ball off. The only play he had was to get the force out. Iannetta is out at second.
Another good play by Donaldson. Again, we featured him in the defense at the top of the broadcast, that he's been making a lot of great plays. Here's another one right here. Tolleson does his job as this ball is smothered by Donaldson. He knows he's not going to get that runner at first base. And you see what he did? He looked right to third base to see if he can get the runner rounding the bag a little bit too aggressively.
Johnny Giavotella, the number 9 hitter, but don't take him lightly. He has hit very well in tight games. He's hit 500 in close and late situations.
Close and late. That's late in the game, 7th inning or later. He had his 8th go-ahead RBI in last night's game. He's only got 15 for the season.
Ground ball to short. Goins will go across the diamond in time, but the Angels have tied it up. A couple of walks in the inning. Chris Iannetta with an RBI single. 2-2 ball game.
.07, it is Blue Jays Grand Slam combo night. Your combo includes a ticket to the game, hot dog, nachos, popcorn, and peanuts, apple, and a soft drink. That is a lot of good food. Tickets start at $45. Go to BlueJays.com for more. And speaking of Grand Slams, guys, 21 home runs have been hit so far tonight in the majors. They are coming in bunches tonight.
Boy, they sure are. We heard earlier about Nelson Cruz hitting a big home run. Lots of home runs. We've got 2 in this ball game. Josh Donaldson and Cole Calhoun have gone deep. It's a 2-2 game.
The weather's getting warmer.
Yeah.
The ball's going to start carrying, right?
Absolutely. You get to outdoor baseball and the ball will jump. Well, Blue Jays had a great opportunity in the 6th. They got the first 2 aboard, but couldn't move them up. Encarnacion with the leadoff walk. Martin with a single, but that's where they stayed, right there at first and second.
Santiago used that fastball, and again, that fastball's been good for him this season. Batters hitting just 200 against that fastball. He used it to strike out Valencia and Kevin Pillar to finish off that 6th inning.
He throws a good pitch in a good spot down and away. It's 2-2. Santiago came to the Angels as part of a 3-team trade. Arizona, White Sox, and the Angels. There's that inside pitch. He's gotten that call all night long. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. The Red Sox welcoming in the Texas Rangers. Giovanni Gallardo started for Texas. He gave up 4 runs on 10 hits over 5 innings. You know who's having a great start to his season? Prince Fielder. He's hitting .351.
That's right. That's right.
Missed most of last year with neck problem. Had surgery. He's healthy.
Yeah. It's amazing when you're healthy.
Goins pops it up. It's playable. Behind home plate, Ionetta, the catcher, takes his mask off and makes the catch. 2 down. Now it's time for the drive of the game. It's presented by Acura. Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Well, it didn't take long for the Blue Jays to get the drive of the game. Leadoff batter Josh Donaldson says, I'm going to take this ball deep to center field. It's a drive and a bounce as he bounces this ball right off the top of the center field wall. Home run number 9. And our drive of the game.
Donaldson has driven in both Blue Jay runs tonight. He had a sacrifice fly in the 5th. Pops this one up on the right side. First baseman Albert Pujols makes the catch in fair territory. Santiago, a strong 7th inning, 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the 8th. It's a choo-choo game here at Rogers Center.
Tonight, they're our guests of TD. Today, share a video or photo showing your Blue Jays spirit using hashtag TD Tuesday and tag at Blue Jays for a chance to win 1 of 5 trips to Toronto. Meantime, over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are folks from Youth Assisting Youth. Great program, Buck.
Absolutely a great program. We want to welcome those groups into this ballpark tonight. They're seeing a heck of a pitcher's duel. Quite a contrast to what we saw yesterday afternoon. The Blue Jays won 10-6 yesterday. We're in the 8th. It's a 2-2 game. Top of the order for the Angels, Ibar, Trout, and Pujols.
Well, the quote from Mike Scioscia, the manager of the Los Angeles Angels, about Eric Ibar as a leadoff hitter, says he's not really, the ideal leadoff hitter with that aggressive approach. Doesn't take a lot of pitches, but what Eric doesn't bring in patience and working counts, he brings in athleticism. I love that. He still gets on base at a rate that hopefully will set the table for Trout and Pujols.
There aren't many prototypical leadoff hitters in the game today. We have Josh Donaldson leading off for the Blue Jays here tonight. Ibar, he swings and misses a lot, but he gets on base. He's not run an awful lot this season, but he has in the past.
And he's a great athlete. He plays a great position at shortstop. Right now he's a pitch away from walking.
And he singles into left field. They have to get it back in quickly. Valencia does that. Ibar with the leadoff single here in the 8th. Sanchez checking to see who has coverage at second on a comebacker. Right at 100 pitches, but there's no signs whatsoever of any fatigue.
You know, I love this. This is a great test for a young pitcher. That is Roberto Osuna and Liam Hendricks now warming up for the Blue Jays. Great lesson right here for Aaron Sanchez to face these great hitters.
Mike Trout bounces it to third. Donaldson has one play across the diamond in time. Bang, bang. What a terrific play by Donaldson. It was a do-or-die play. He had only one play, and that was to first, and Mike Trout runs as well as anybody. He threw him out.
One of the best runners in all of baseball, but then to get to the ball, number one, and then throw an accurate and strong throw across the diamond from foul territory. What a play. He's been putting on a clinic defensively for the Blue Jays.
Well, he sure has. He's had a good night in the field, a good night at the plate. Trout is 1 for 4. This is Albert Pujols. He's 0 for 3. He hit into a double play in the 6th his last time up. This is the aspect of putting Calhoun behind Pujols that Mike Scioscia was looking for. Calhoun has homered, walked, and scored tonight. He scored 2 runs, so you can't just flip it up there to Pujols. You got to try to get him out.
And if you lose them, you don't have an out sitting behind him. You got a couple of runners on. You've got a guy who can drive them in. You know, it wouldn't be worse for wear if you end up walking Albert Pujols here, set up the double play.
Three and 0 to Pujols. Obviously, he's going to have the green light in this situation. John Gibbons has a couple of right-handers loosening up. Hendricks was up last inning. Osuna has joined him this inning. Ball 4. So Gibbons has come out of the Blue Jays dugout. He has made the call for the right-hander, and the umpire at third wanted to make sure which one he wants. Manny Gonzalez asked, and it appears as though it's going to be Osuna. So Sanchez didn't have a walk until the 7th. He walked 2 in the 7th, 1 here in the 8th. But he leaves this game. It's tied 2-2.
for you. Save money, create lasting memories with coworkers, teammates, family, and friends. Book your group today at bluejays.com/groups. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. And obviously, this is a tough situation for Osuna. He worked yesterday, pitched an inning and 2/3 through just 18 pitches.
And one of the batters that he faced, there are his great numbers this year. Lefty's hitting just 156. One of the batters he faced yesterday was Cole Calhoun.
He struck out Calhoun in a perfect 7th inning. He retired Trout, Pujols, and Calhoun in order in the 7th.
Struck him out swinging. Great job by Aaron Sanchez getting his team into the 8th inning.
Right at the bottom of the zone. That's been a strike all night for Russell Martin. Calhoun has scored both Angel runs. He homered in the 4th and walked and scored in the 7th.
Wow.
2-0 changeup.
Yeah. From a guy who was an A-ball last year. That shows you a lot of confidence in that. And it also shows that he and Russell Martin working well together. They got to that pitch quickly.
Tough pitch. 2-2.
The breaking ball has been okay. And by definition, I asked him the other day, how's his breaking ball? He said it's coming along. It's starting to feel pretty good. But right now, his fastball, he can really ride it in there, and his changeup has been good.
2-2 pitch. Another changeup off the end of the bat, and Donaldson tries to tag Ibar, and he slides around him mid-third. It was a squibber off the end of the bat. Calhoun hit the changeup, and the ball was cued right off the end of the bat. And Donaldson probably made the right play, but Ibar alertly slid around him.
And there's that athleticism that Mike Scioscia was talking about in the leadoff spot. Getting out from Ibar, and look how he avoids the tag as Donaldson lunges at him and then has the presence to mind to get back on that bag. Ibar starting right in the middle of the base path, and that might have been beneficial for him as he eludes the tag.
So the bases are loaded. David Freese has gone 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Still just 1 out. There's a ball driven to center. That's going to score a run. Ibar's tagging at third. Pillar's throw will go to third. And the Angels have taken the lead. David Freese drives in his 22nd run as Ibar scores. Sacrifice fly for the Angels DH.
He's been a clutch hitter in his career, Freese. He picks up the run there.
Osuna allows the inherited runner to score. He inherited 2 runners when he came in, and Ibar comes in from third. Two outs. Pujols at second. Calhoun at first. Joyce fouls it back. Matt Joyce is 0 for 2 with a walk. He drew the second walk off Sanchez in the 7th, and he was stranded at third.
Limit the damage right here. Infield is very deep. You saw in that one shot, very deep on the infield, just to knock anything down and keep it in the infield.
Ground ball. Encarnacion makes a nice grab. Osuna's there. The inning is over. But the Angels take the lead A sacrifice fly by David Freese. It's a 3-2 Angel game. Bottom of the 8th. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong. Three earned runs. Once again, the walks came back to haunt him a bit. He didn't walk a batter through 6 innings and then had a leadoff walk in the 7th. That was to Cole Calhoun, and Calhoun came around to score the tying run.
But overall, the A-plus, I think, tonight for Aaron Sanchez, pitching into the 8th inning. 106 pitches for Sanchez. That sinker was working. His curveball was outstanding. 5 strikeouts for Aaron. Unfortunately, that run is now the difference in the ball game, and it's up to the bullpen of the Los Angeles Angels, who have been outstanding this season, especially this guy right here, Joe Smith, 0-1 with a 270 earned run average. He's pitched in 16 innings this year. He's had 19 strikeouts and 4 walks. He's got an unusual delivery, drops down a lot like Darren O'Day, sinker slider type of pitcher, and he and Houston Street have been outstanding at the back end of the bullpen.
They sure have. You see, Colin Cowgill has come into the ball game defensively. He is in left field. It'll be Bautista, Encarnacion, and Russell Martin here in the 8th. Jose Bautista has put up good numbers against Smith. Bouncing ball. This one's right to the third baseman. Featherston throws out Bautista. 1 out. Let's check in with Barry Davis.
Well, guys, for a second straight day, Jose Bautista threw a baseball. It wasn't a lot, and it wasn't very far, but it's definitely good news for him and the Blue Jays since he hadn't thrown one in such a long time. Still going to be a while, though, before we see him in right field. News also very good for Jose Reyes. Took batting practice again. Guys, you watched him. He's hitting the ball very well. The chances are very good that he will go out on a rehab assignment starting tomorrow, and if that's the case, we could see him back in the Blue Jays lineup possibly by the weekend. Yeah,
I think, Barry, you're right. He certainly looked good in BP. He had a lot of life in his body in the infield when he's taking grounders, and I think if he goes out, plays a couple games, and he'll find out that he's okay, and he'll be right back with this ball club.
Yeah, the first test, take a good full swing, and if that side is better, he's going to be fine. He'll be back here. He's in great shape. We had that shot right there of him running, and he's ready to play baseball.
Bouncing ball. Nice play by Smith. He jumps and snares it. 2 quick outs here in the 8th.
Joe Smith, again, from down under with his delivery, but he ends up in great fielding position. That time, either he was going to get it or the shortstop was going to get that one, and Encarnacion is out. 2 quick ground ball outs from Joe Smith. That's what you're going to get with that sinker.
Russell Martin is 2 for 3 again tonight, and he's put up big numbers in this month of May. Hot shot right to the second baseman, Gio Votella. Boy, Smith has been terrific. 6 pitches, and Smith retires the side in order in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. The Angels have a 1-run lead. We go to the top of the 9th inning. New pitcher into the ballgame for the Blue Jays is Liam Hendricks. This will be his 14th appearance of the season.
Liam last worked 3 days ago. That was down in Houston. A couple of innings, a couple of hits, and 3 punch-outs. 3 strikeouts in those 2 innings. A very good ERA at 3.63. And his whip, he has always been able to throw a lot of strikes with his fastball and his breaking ball. No difference this year, just 3 walks this whole season in those 17 innings for Hendricks.
Chris Iannetta, a couple of hits tonight again. He is 2 for 3. Iannetta had 3 hits in the game yesterday. That's the second time he's fouled the ball off his left foot.
Well, he got all in there, didn't he? That pitch registered 95 miles an hour. And Iannetta just could not get the barrel out. Williams is throwing harder since they moved him into the bullpen from the starting rotation.
Iannetta taking an extra moment to regroup a bit after taking that foul ball off the foot. Peel down to first base. Paul Schreiber says no swing, so it's a ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff man here in the 9th. Iannetta, Featherston, and Gio Votella for the Angels.
Good pitch. I think Hendricks and Russell Martin thought it should have been a called strike. He was walking off the mound like they were going to throw the ball around the infield. But they have not gotten that call tonight, that low strike.
Martin tried to sell that one, and you could see it might have been off the plate. 3-2. Iannetta lifts it high in the air, but it's well within playable region for Valencia, and he makes the catch. Iannetta's retired, first out of the 9th. Taylor Featherston has gone 0 for 3. He got the start at third base as Mike Scioscia put Freese in the DH spot tonight. It's a good fastball. Boy, you're right about his velocity.
He's got good velocity tonight. Again, he worked 3 days ago, so he's rested. And he's got some good movement on that fastball, too. That one, 96. For the most part, he has pitched well out of the bullpen. Those 17 strikeouts have come over his last 16 1/3 innings of relief. He's retired all 8 inherited runners. And he's got good movement on that breaking ball.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a strike. No question about that one. We'll be right back at it tomorrow night, game 3 of this 4-game series. It'll be Jared Weaver up against Drew Hutchison. Weaver is 2-4, Hutchison 3-0. It'll all start tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. And make sure you check out the pregame show. Hazel May has done a terrific interview with Mike Trout. That'll air tomorrow on Blue Jays Central. Number 9 hitter, Johnny Giovatella. See the Angels trying to catch up to that fastball. Houston Street, their closer. Joe Smith and Street have been a pretty solid lockdown combination. Street's 12 for 14 in save opportunities. Martin couldn't hang on to the foul tip.
Wow, he is just throwing the ball where he wants to, just reaching out and just dotting the eye with that fastball. Right on the outside corner with a little something on it.
Two and two outs. We're in the ninth. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, it's Danny Valencia, Chris Colabello, and Kevin Pillar, the scheduled hitters for the Blue Jays. That ball gets away all the way back to the screen. It's a full count. Bouncing ball near the bag at second. Tollison makes a nice play. Liam Hendricks retires the side in order in the ninth. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Valencia, Colabello, Pillar, Houston Street, the closer for the Angels. 3-2 Angels. Extra coming up right after this game on Sportsnet Central. Blackhawks and Ducks on CBC. They're on now. It's game 2. Anaheim needs a series 1 game to none, so make sure you stay tuned for Sportsnet Central right after this ball game. Houston Street. He is 31 years old. Hard to believe he's in his 11th big league season.
12 saves already this year. That ties him for 3rd in the American League in saves, 287 earned run average. Lefties, he has really handcuffed them this year at a 152 earned run average. He does it with a lot of smarts and a lot of well-placed pitches. Doesn't overpower you. He sinks the ball. He's got a nice little tight slider, and he can really put that ball right on the corner.
Houston Street coming into this season, 275 career saves, 2nd all-time for closers 30 years or younger. This is Ezequiel Carrera pinch hitting for Danny Valencia. Blue Jays need a base runner. 3-2 ball game.
Good on-base percentage right there for Carrera, 375. He's going to have to make sure Street comes to him. He will nibble. He will throw it on the corner. He will live out there against the left-hander. See that little tailing fastball on the outside corner.
Yeah, he's smart enough to know he can't pound the middle of that strike zone. There's a strike on the corner as Carrera showed bunt. 1-2. Angels picked up Street last July 18th from the San Diego Padres. He just received a contract extension, takes him for 2 more years.
And a club option for 2018.
Pulled on the ground. Pujols will go to the bag. 1 down. Now it's time for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osback. Thank you very much. That's all coming up right after this game, so make sure you stay tuned for Sportsnet Central. Chris Colabello has gone 0 for 3. Blue Jays have just 4 hits tonight. Houston Street throws that little slider right off the outside corner.
To the right-handers. It looks like a fastball that's going to hit that outside corner and then just inches its way off the plate. Sinks the fastball, and you can see against the left-handers he'll use his changeup. He's been doing it a long time, hasn't he?
He sure has. He started out with the Oakland A's and got in some good postseason experience early in his career. He's been a 2-time All-Star. He played in the playoffs 3 years. Oakland 2006, Colorado, and then the Angels. Another slider and a strikeout. Colabello chases strike 3 down and away.
He starts off on the first base side of the pitching rubber. That opens up that whole outside part. There's that little slider. And right-handers have been doing that for a long time. They just wave at that ball just off the plate.
This is a perfect illustration of the Angels' season so far. They don't score many runs, 3 tonight. Joe Smith and Houston Street slam the door.
Yeah, get it to them, and they have done a good job. Joe Smith came into this game with 11 holds, which leads Major League Baseball. He's looking for number 12. Street's looking for his 13th save. Got to be patient.
Ball on the strike, Kevin Pillar. Bounced up and hit Pillar. 1-2. Smoke is on deck. He'd love to get a chance to hit here in the ninth. Blue Jays just 2 runs on 4 hits. There's a liner to left field, and Cargill is there. Colin Cowgill came in to play defense, and he makes a catch to end the ball game. Houston Street picks up the save. That's his 13th of the season. And another tight ball game. Cole Calhoun with a home run. They got a home run and a RBI single by Iannetta. They scored 3 runs and beat the Blue Jays 3-2.
I think for the Blue Jays, you have to be encouraged with Aaron Sanchez's performance tonight. Outstanding pitching into the 8th inning. Unfortunately, he's going to go down as the loser, but we saw a lot of good strides, and some big strides and some good things from Aaron Sanchez tonight.
Absolutely. Sanchez was terrific. Mike Scioscia's team scores 3 runs on 6 hits. It's even a game apiece. Stay tuned. Sportsnet Central coming up. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osback.